don't see why not.
Red Bull drops Sergio Perez if they do not lock in the constructors. Because, I mean, what is the point of Sergio Perez? Like, Max can't do it single-handedly. If McLaren is getting 2 3s and, you know, high up in the points every single race, they've got 2 drivers that are crushing it. So fuck Max if it happens. 25 points, 26 if he gets fastest lap. It's like, what is the point of Sergio Perez? Because it's not selling jerseys. I mean, the budget is capped. It's like...
All right. Welcome to the Greek Culture Podcast, where we talk about Formula One and Formula One fantasy using Grid Rival. We're here to break down the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's get into it.
All right, what you got? When you watch it? And what was your impression of the weekend?
Man, this weekend was a busy weekend for me. It was my girlfriend's birthday, my fiance's birthday. Let me get that straight. Shantae. But yes, it was her birthday, so we had a big range of festivities, and although it was in the morning, I was still for qualifying, I was in the car watching it, just had it on my phone as I was driving around. But man, qualifying was awesome. I watched the sprint, which was it was all right. I kind of missed a lot of the sprint because there was just so much going on that day, but it was still good. There was lots of fast people who were interesting, like Mercedes coming out. They were fast all weekend. And then Sunday, we woke up. We were at a hotel in Long Island City, New York, and we walked around the corner to this cafe, and they just ended up having the race on. So it was silent when I walked in, and I was kind of just drinking my coffee. We had some pastries, and then the race had started. I was like, let's just stay here, see what happens. There was 2 people who showed up. They liked it. I was like, this could be maybe the spot, you've been talking about your meetups. Maybe I'll create a spot. This place was really cool. It's called the Grapes of Craft in LIC. If that ever happens, cha-chang, it was here first. But I had gasped when Leclerc had gone into the pits, lap 5 or something like that.
Lap 2, and it was right off the rip.
It's so early. I couldn't. And the barista behind the bar was heard me gasp loudly and was gave me this look and was like, I know what, and then proceeded to grab the remote and turn the volume on. And so I was like, yes. And then later had gone up to him and was like, you do this for every race, so I think we might have a cool spot to hang out, and maybe we'll make a Greek culture meetup in New York. But yeah, so what about you? How was your experience? I think you did another meetup,
this is
right?
our 3rd one overall, 2nd time at I think it's going to be our regular spot. It's kind of out of the way, but it's been just super consistent. They're not charging us to use this place, and it's 2nd time gone off without a hitch. I think now we're just kind of trying to figure out ways to increase our numbers, because there has to be more Formula One fans in Vegas. I just think that maybe
Totally.
You know what I mean, they're kind of in a position like I was, where it's I was by myself, you know what I mean? And so maybe I'm a little uncomfortable going to somewhere by myself, because I don't know what the environment's going to be like. Is it going to be super cliquey, everyone has their tables, and then I've kind of got to squeeze in with a random one? There's about 5 of us total that show up regularly. I think we've got some people that will show up occasionally, but no, it went really well. It's kind of nice because we have just this really private room up top the whole room is full of TVs, and they put the race on every single TV. They turn the music off upstairs so we can actually hear the race. We order food, have a couple beers, and then head home. We're there for like maybe 2.5 hours, but it's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, and soon enough there'll be a race in your time zone, and maybe more people show up because I feel like a lot more people want to watch it live, and that might be a thing.
6 a.m. I will say, and this is another plug, but there's a West Coast Formula One group that they actually do the race like when the race happens, and they show up. So they've got two options. They do like a meetup room in the Discord, but there's another option where you can like actually go to this place that they use, and they'll show up in like pajamas and stuff. And they'll all watch the race together. Wow. But they have a pretty big show up, and we've collaborated them a little bit, trying to like, hey, I know you guys are based out of LA, but if you guys know of anyone that's in Vegas, just spread the word. And they've posted our stuff a few times.
Yeah, let's do something on TikTok. Let's see what we can do with TikTok, and see if we can get some people to show up to Vegas. We'll ping the thing right here. I'll drop this right here. Bam. Check it out.
Shoot.
Boom. Awesome. All right. So let's just go into it. Like, shit. Like, first of all, Austria, it's short track, shortest of the year. So tons of laps. And, oh, yeah. Well, the shortest circuit versus
it's a shorter track.
But so there's a bunch of overlapping, so it becomes a very boring race. And so there's good overtakes, there's things going on, but if you're in front, like it's just a go, and it's Red Bull's spot, so we know Max is gonna just take it. But we got some battles, we got some elbows. I think Max has been working on his elbows because he's been putting them out there, and people like Mercedes will just take advantage of that. So it's insane.
As far as I gotta say about the crash is just an incident on the race, no big deal. I think they were just battling. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and analyze it because I'm just going to let everyone else do it. But what I do want to bring up is Mantis Toboggan himself coming in for the scraps with George Russell. That was like literally in the pre-race, he said that's what he was going to do, was just wait and let them duke it out. And then when something happened, he was going to come in for the scraps. It's like, it's a strategy. But we all know that I just have a big disdain for George Russell. I do not like him. I don't care for him. I didn't care for him when he was at Williams. And then to like come in and think that you're just going to like high and mighty take over the Mercedes team. That's Lewis's team, man. You can have it when he leaves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna disagree. I'm with you. I'm with you. I just wanted to say that.
The race was overall pretty conservative. It seemed like most of the passes were going to happen in that one turn, turn 3, 4. I don't remember. Yeah, it was like it was that one.
I mean, Norris made
that one spot that if you were going to pass, that was traditionally where it was going to happen. But McLaren, honestly, I think they did a really good race. I think both drivers really conserved their tires, just because, and you can tell just because they, were 6 to 8 seconds behind Max throughout the entirety of the race, and then one pit stop, and they're within DRS range, and that's when that happened. And then for Piastri to essentially get up into second, I mean, he was nowhere near there.
Oh yeah, I think what did he qualify in?
7th.
It was like,
it was pretty far back. It was 7th because he got the time deleted. The lap that he put in would have put him at 3rd, I think, and then he got that time deleted.
But still,
Mercedes
exactly.
looks super good. I think they're gonna come in, and I don't think they're gonna come in, and I don't think they're gonna like make a fight for second. I mean, there's a lot of season left, but I maybe a solid third. I think they could fight Ferrari, but with McLaren's trajectory and the rate at which they started, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to Red Bull and McLaren and Ferrari and Mercedes to duke it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, which is traditional.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
Ferrari,
yeah, very traditional, but
Ferrari, I don't know, man. Are they keeping the right driver? That's my biggest question. Leclerc is handsome.
That's the question
He's
of the
handsome.
year.
He's a handsome fellow.
Well, he still has his contract. He's contract locked.
I get that, but there's always these clauses. You can't tell me that there's no way to get out of it. He's good at quality. He's a good qualifier, but does he show up to the race? I don't know. I can't say without a doubt yes that he does. And then, last but not least, Haas in them points, baby. Haas in them points. Let's go.
I gotta get a Haas shirt. I'll send you a Haas shirt. We make Haas shirts at Agriculture Shop.
Those are fly. You're getting somewhere with those shirts. I was like, I might just.
I was thinking about it. I gotta make some more. Did you see the Stroll one? It says the fool.
Got him. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy for Haas. That's why I'm glad I put them as my team for this week. And with that, let's go into the race report.
You gotta give me a second because I'm not queued up for that.
He is not queued up for the race report. But yeah, this week was a big point-heavy week for everybody. There's a lot of people in the thousands because we only had one DNF, which was someone who actually got a lot of points because he did a majority of the race. So Lando got a good amount of points, even with the DNF, which
and everyone got more points.
I don't know. Do we have accurate knowledge to know if that McLaren was undrivable?
That's so okay. I forgot completely about that. But honestly, like, and if there was, I totally stand corrected. I'll shut my mouth. I'll drink. I'll do a shoey. Whatever it takes to like make up for it. But in my honest opinion, the car appeared drivable. I mean, he got it to the pits, finished the goddamn race, dude. Like that's honestly that's the difference between a world champion and just I've won a few races. I don't know.
I agree in so many ways. We were texting about it, and they were like, "Well, the diffuser was off," and I was like, "I feel like that's something they could throw back on."
Because
and I think that even where he was,
the car. Lando said retire the car.
Yeah, Lando started taking off the steering wheel. I was wondering that, and that was one thing that I was just like, come on. Like, just finish the race. Even Max finished and he got fifth. And he got even with a penalty, he still stayed in the same spot because he was
and so
and that's what keeps him above.
My other question is, because Lando got a ton of penalties. Again, they were both making grave, like super bad errors. Lando got penalty for track limits. He did not serve that penalty. So did he fuck himself for the next race? Yes. It's like, dude, get in the car and finish the race. It was almost over.
He could have taken his penalty as like he could have added it to the end of the race if he would have just finished.
That's what Sergio Perez did in Mexico.
Yeah.
No, which race was it?
I
know he got a penalty.
I thought it was like one
they
after
were gonna
Monaco.
Retire the car,
I thought it was after
and then
Monaco.
He got back in it and drove a lap around the track so that he could serve the penalty, and then he retired the car.
Yeah. So I mean, exactly. I was really confused by Lando's tactics there. I think honestly, I think he was just being a sore loser, and it was just, you know, it wasn't necessary for him to get out of the car. He could have just finished it, and I know he was upset, but I think that he could have handled that a little better. It's battling. Even David Coulthard was just like, that's the game. He's like, I don't know whose fault that is because that's driving. It's being aggressive, it's being defensive, and it's trying to get around someone. When accidents happen.
Yeah.
You know, you're in cars, you hit each other. Like, it's just the battle. And Max did get points for that because he did go wide. He was steering into
he
the
did go
defensiveness.
he did go
But
left, but it's like, dude, that's racing. Like, what did you expect? You have to anticipate that he's probably gonna like do a defensive maneuver. I mean, he'll get the penalty, but if you're trying to save your race, like, you got to account for that. If the car in front of me slams on its brakes, I can't just smash into it and say, well, he slammed into his brakes. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's like, I have to anticipate that, and I'm not even fucking race car driver.
Yeah, and I mean, Max was being a little bit of a baby. He was like, that's not how you overtake, and that's not how you do everything.
That's
but
everybody.
He finished the race.
Yeah.
And that, to me, and like you said, is world champion like status. I love Lando. I'm a big McLaren fan, but I think there's a separation where Max just has that fight in him, and Lando wants it to be fair.
At the meetup, someone was like, man, Jose is trying to find the nearest gas station right now. Or no, what was it? He said, Yost looks like he's about to take his belt off. And I was like, oh my god, dude. He's still finished. Okay?
He's about to grab a fork and stab mechanic.
Right, so we got, this is the race report. I'm gonna be honest, who's Jimmy?
Jimmy Jer. Oh, that's
he's
Gustavo.
Okay. I was like, I didn't recognize the name, and I was like, who is this? I don't know that I've seen his name all season. What? Yeah,
I think we lost your audio.
No. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you not hear me?
Hold on.
I'm gonna pull up my. Hello.
Okay.
My meter's bumping.
Okay. Picking back up. Okay, we'll
You can hear me now?
Cut for time.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can see your meter
Okay.
going.
Just
All
look
right.
at the
Yeah, the race report is pretty interesting. I'm coming for you. I did more points than you this week, so
Yeah,
I'm coming for you.
I mean,
look at that. We're
so. I guess the
so
point
close.
is, with the Wolf Pack scoring so many damn points every week, this might just be where I live the rest of the season.
No, I'm gonna beat you. You're gonna go down. I'm going to 7.
Hey, come for it. I'm begging you.
But yes, and there's no way I'm making it to the top. Like, if Toto Baggins is getting thousands of points, like, okay, so I starred Ocon.
Okay, bold move, but I understand where you're coming from with the Pierre Gasly, surprise last week. I think I kind of did something similar.
But look what I did. So I did 3 big drivers, 2 lower drivers, and then Haas did great. Haas was
an excellent pick.
Better than
is probably your best pick this weekend. And I mean, Ocon was pretty good. He did okay at the sprint. He was a solid driver. I watched him during the first practice, and I was like, he's fast. He's faster than Gasly. And I had picked up Gasly last week, and
so he was locked out for me. And then Sargent is I don't have any money, and he wasn't doing too bad. And during practice, he had a fast lap, and there was some stuff that he was doing during practice.
Sargent.
But
you can't. You were broke. You couldn't afford anybody else. It's okay. I get it.
Yeah, but there was a part of me that's like, okay, no Piastri and go for a better driver. But I was like, you know, he can give me some points as long as he does his DNF.
It's a good play. What'd you got? You had 952. What did I get?
957.
Oh, wait, no, yes. You were. I went
963.
You were 963. Yeah, so you got a little more points than me.
So Leclerc would have got a lot more points if he would have finished in the top 5, which he normally does.
All right, so for me this week,
Gasly was
I picked up Gasly and threw the star. So I kind of forgot it was a sprint weekend, if I'm being completely honest. Life got up ahead of me. And so I didn't want to mess up. So typically what I'll do is the moment my lineup opens, I set it. And then I'll make changes as the weekend progresses. But, you know, with the shorter weekend, I really didn't have a chance. So I just locked it in at what I chose. I think I know I picked up Gasly. I know I had Piastri. Yeah, so I'm losing Piastri and Valtteri.
which could help you. I mean, Piastri really did a whole lot of points, but that's not too bad.
And then I should have.
Let's go to the
most. I totally meant to drop Racing Bulls and pick up Alpine, but I did not.
Yeah, that's a big one. You gotta. Solid team is always good, and I think I'm just gonna try to keep Haas. I think I have them for the whole 5 races because they're just a solid pickup right now. I don't think, especially the next couple circuits, are pretty solid for them. I think they're pretty wide. I think it's the British, and then Hungary and Belgium. So like they're all giant circuits. They're all real good. Spa is a crazy one. We can get some crazy rain, and even Hungary we can even get some rain.
Damn. Toto Baggins.
So who got the most points this week? Is it Toto Baggins?
Toto Baggins again, because I think it was Toto Baggins. Oh no, it was Jimmy.
Okay, but by not much. Like that's a fine margin.
It was the Haas pickup, man.
Hulkenberg star.
Yeah, I mean, so K-Mag was the star of the week.
I dropped Hulkenberg.
K-Mag was the star of the week by a few extra points, but I think K-Mag was just too big of a risk. I think Hulkenberg would have been the play. If you had Hulkenberg and started.
This is such a good lineup right here.
And then that Haas team.
Wow.
With the Haas with the team. I mean, ultimately, the only thing that kind of screwed him was the Valtteri Bottas,
But you always need someone to kind of balance your money, and that was better than Sargent. This is such a good pickup. And what's funny is, even with the Hamilton pickup, at first I was like, oh, I screwed up by picking up Hamilton. But with the DNFs and the collision, it really helped.
We got
the Wolfpack right behind. Alpine is a good one.
Haas was more.
They've been
and then obviously George Russell.
That's a big one.
The Pierre Gasly star.
Gasly had more points than Ocon. Albon wasn't bad. Albon is his lowest. Wow, dang it! Albon is his lowest driver, and it's still that's heavy.
That's one of the things.
That's everyone giving over 100 points.
That's one of the things that I was thinking about with Williams is I just don't. We can get into it later, but remind me that I just don't think Sainz is going to go to Williams. I think that's going to be career
Yeah.
suicide. And then the last one was... Wait, was that the last one? Who was underneath? There was someone... Oh, it was Toto Baggins. Toto Baggins got third. The max, Yuki was his lowest scoring.
Yeah.
You know what is an interesting pickup is the Mercedes. And I'd be interested.
Wow, he must have a lot of money.
I'd be interested to see if he picked up Mercedes based on practice, or if he had Mercedes.
Yeah, I mean, Mercedes, have they DNF'd this year?
No. If they had it,
they would be a solid
George
pickup
crashing.
for a team.
No. George crashed.
Yeah.
There was the race where he was on the side and he was like freaking out, like, red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm in the middle of the track.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes, yeah.
But
still
low,
with just that, Mercedes is a solid team. And now that they got a pole.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, maybe he did pick up based off practice because they didn't do that well last week. But I don't know. Until we get these little mother suckers on the podcast, we just won't know.
We'll just never know. Let's go to see who made the most money in the race report. Just because I want to see 7.3.
Come on, Luke.
Wow.
Such a lineup.
Yeah. We'll trim some fat before next year.
I got people.
Or maybe add some. Heck yeah.
7.3. That's
Hulk and
he only lost money on Valtteri, and it was less than $1 million.
Wow,
that's fucking Haas pickup, man. Haas itself 2.4. I know who I won't be picking up next week.
Wow.
Is there anyone else you want to look at?
All right. No, I think we're good on Grid Rival. So, other than the crash, and we got pretty into that, nothing too crazy this week happened as far as like rumors or any announcements other than Stroll locked in. But like that was kind of like all he had to do is go like tug on his daddy's coattails. Daddy, I want to race again this year. He's like, son, you suck.
I want a golden
but
goose
if
now, Daddy.
I want a squirrel. I want Fernando Alonso to be my teammate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so other than that, not much. I had one article that says Carlos Sainz sends Williams a clear message that he's gonna take his time.
Since the more that what
does that mean?
The more that I think about it, the more Formula One is really just like unsubstantiated rumors, and so I'm just gonna start throwing around some fucking hot ass rumors that come in my brain.
Go.
All right, so the Adrian Newey one that we're talking about, right? One of the things that I was reading about, I believe, or maybe someone just told me about it, was the reason why Pierre Gasly also got cut from the team was he was getting mouthy with Adrian Newey. So I'm putting a stop to the Adrian Newey going to Aston Martin because ain't nobody want to fucking deal with that silver spoon little baby boy. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to deal with that. And Adrian Newey knows that. No. So no amount of Lawrence Daddy Stroll money is going to make Adrian Newey come there. I'm thinking Adrian Newey is just going to retire and ride off into the sunset. The only caveat,
okay, but if he doesn't retire,
Ferrari, because it's the same reason why Lewis wants to sunset tour at Ferrari. I'm locking it in. If Adrian Newey stays, he goes to Ferrari. If he does not retire, he goes to Ferrari.
Agree. I don't think he's going to Mercedes or any of the other. No.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is, Carlos Sainz obviously had a fantastic weekend. He didn't score, but he got on the podium, and you know what I mean? And he's a free agent. You know what I mean? It was already known that he was an excellent driver. He's going to be on the market next year. My biggest question is, why has Mercedes not locked in Antonelli yet? Do you think that he could be going to Mercedes? Why else? There's this huge persona about Antonelli being the next Max Verstappen. And we hear this all the time, but we've already know that Toto Wolff kicks.
I think they're waiting. Well, they're waiting to confirm. They're waiting to confirm his super license. So, because now they just made it so that 17-year-olds can get their super license.
To actually get it.
Now he has to actually get it, but I do think they could be like, hey, I don't know. I think that they're playing the tactic pretty well by not saying anything yet, because it's too early to say it for Antonelli. But also, Sainz is on just floating there, and why not have Russell and Sainz duke it out?
My other hot take:
why not?
Red Bull drops Sergio Perez if they do not lock in the constructors. Because, what is the point of Sergio Perez? Max can't do it single-handedly. If McLaren is getting 2 3s and, high up in the points every single race, they've got 2 drivers that are crushing it. So fuck Max Verstappen's 25 points, 26 if he gets fastest lap. It's what is the point of Sergio Perez? Because it's not selling jerseys. The budget is capped. It's he's a popular driver. I love Sergio Perez. But if he's not performing, do they get a better driver? And I think it's going to come down to McLaren. If McLaren doesn't come for a world champion, they're coming for constructors. They're going to get that number 1 spot. They're going to get that first pit stop right when you drive into the pits. Where does Sergio go?
Wow. That's hot. That's a hot take. I think that if there's an exit clause in that contract,
why not?
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to pull out?
Hates him. He's very vocally been I don't want Sergio Perez on this team. You know what I mean? That in order to sign Sergio Perez, there had to be some type of clause in there that said, if he's not performing, he goes. Red Bull has notoriously dropped drivers for not performing. Why are they holding on to Sergio Perez? He's not helping Max. Max is up there fucking blasting, trying to fucking keep first place all by himself. He's got no backup. Ferrari, even in the beginning of the season, were, they were playing the team game and pushing the field back so that, they concretely, they in concrete had first place. That's not happening with Max. Max is having to do it pure on skill and car.
Well,
and now that McLaren has a better car.
Do you think... Well, saying that, do you think so? Helmut Marko being, kind of in charge in so many weird ways.
He does.
If Horner's decision to keep Sergio doesn't go pan out, do they keep Horner?
I don't know. They already brushed over the scandal, so it's not like they're going to use that to get rid of him.
Yeah, but that's another stack on, the mountain. It's just another layer, and that could just topple it. So is that, if the decision comes down to Horner when it comes to Sergio, is Sergio only on the team because Horner wants him? Is he have a plan for him? And if so, if it doesn't pan out, is it on Horner?
It's definitely an interesting take. It's something to consider, because it's I think if they don't win constructor, that solely gets blamed on Horner. because Max is Max.
Yeah.
Max is going to do fine as long as I'm assuming he probably doesn't have a micromanager, someone that's like in his ear every fucking second, and just someone that just lets him drive and do his thing, and they provide a good car for him. Max is going to win. Max is going to get podiums. He's going to get, he may not win first after they lose Adrian Newey or the engine battles, but the engines come back. But does Red Bull not winning the constructors get hung on Horner's hat or on his head, and he loses team principal and they replace him? I don't know. I mean, he's done a lot for him. He's been there for a long time. So, but gone are the days where people are loyal. There's no loyalty anymore. You see that with a lot of sports teams where they're just like, the Golden Knights just dropped their highest scoring player in forever. And I'm like, you realize you just, kind of screwed yourself. You're going back into a rebuilding phase, essentially. But they did that last year.
Yeah, it was like March
last year
or something.
Or what's the other year with
Fury?
Fleury. But I mean, there's no loyalty anymore.
Fleury.
So I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even think about team principal moves. But I think Sainz to Williams is career suicide. They can't even afford to bring upgrades to their car because Albon literally capped out their spending budget. So I don't think that they're going to bring any upgrades the rest of the season. So this is where they're at.
I think it goes to Alpine.
Alpine is a good pick. But I still think Audi is the play.
Well, yeah,
because there's an unknown.
Audi
I
right now.
just don't feel like Audi's going to come in and want to be a mid-tier team.
Yeah, no. I think that's smart of him. And I hope that come Silverstone we'll see something.
They're going to drag it out.
Some sort of. Well, when is the summer break?
August.
We have.
It's after Belgium. It's the month of August.
Yeah. It
we got
goes
Hungary the 21st. We got Belgium the 28th, and then
it goes
until the end.
Then we're off, and then it starts in August.
In August 25th.
Yep.
Zandvoort.
Okay, so we're coming up. Maybe he'll do it before or at Belgium. I imagine before the summer break. If he doesn't do it before the summer break, he's not racing next year. I don't give a fuck what he says. They're gonna get some rookie who's
I don't know. Hot. Yeah, and that's again where is he gonna Daniel Ricciardo and torpedo his career by making dumb decisions? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Who knows? Any fun facts? We got the British Grand Prix coming up.
Didn't even look.
Let's see. We have. Oh, that is Belgium. There we go. Silverstone. We got 52 laps here. It is the lap record was by Max in 2020, and it's a minute 27, which means it's a middle range track. I think that this one's pretty standard, but this is a Mercedes track. Actually, this is a big track for a lot of people because I think Aston is not too far from Silverstone.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And McLaren. I think there's a bunch of people in this area. Alfa Romeo. There's a bunch
I'd like
of
to see a Lando podium.
Different.
He comes back with a vengeance.
I want to see a Hamilton, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I want to see a Hamilton podium so bad. That's what I'm waiting
just
for.
written it off in my head.
If not a Hamilton, then a Lando. I will say Lando. I'm happy about that. Charles would be fun too. I want to see more competition to Max, but
this
is
is
gonna be Max.
Interesting. So we had 2 DNFs last year, K-Mag and Esteban Ocon. We had 1, 2, 3 in that order. We had Max, Lando, Lewis, Oscar in 4th, George Russell in 5th, Perez 6th, Alonso 7th, Albon 8th, Leclerc 9th, and Sainz 10th. So Ferrari was struggling.
Not that
but,
great.
you know, it is interesting because McLaren has been on the heels of Red Bull. I don't know. Maybe.
We might see Lando pole. He's fast on this track. I'm hoping for a McLaren 1-2. I think that would be a nice turn of events. I want to see McLaren get up a little higher, be more competitive with
Gasly
Red Bull,
DNF'd as well.
of course.
I didn't see that there was 3. Is this where they crashed into each other?
Oh, really?
Is this where I think they took each other out?
I don't see
Ocon and
Gasly DNF. Oh,
Yeah.
we did. This might be where they did, yeah.
It's just weird because they gave him a position, but he definitely DNF'd. So I don't know. Maybe he completed enough of the race to place.
That means he completed, yeah. Oh, yeah, it says right here. He did 46 laps. So
then,
that's,
they didn't.
I think it's like 3/4 of the race.
Who you got for P10?
Oh, I'll pick a P10. Shit. I'm gonna say Ricardo. I think Ricardo is big enough to get points lately. Their car's been competitive, and I think he's gonna maintain points this week.
I'm going Hulkenberg.
Going Hulkenberg. Okay.
Fun fact, you know who placed 11th last year? Logan Sargent. Huh? What? He showed up for Silverstone?
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be smart to pick like Gasly or Ocon for 10, but I'm gonna stick with Ricardo.
You're usually safe with like a Yuki or
mid pack. It could even be
Ferrari
a
played
Stroll
10th
or
last year.
a. Oh, we could talk about what the hell is going on with Aston. They are not. What happened to Fernando? I was like, this guy's awesome. He's been doing good, and now, where is he? Magnussen's outpacing him.
I think maybe he's just tired of it. I mean, that's why he left Alpine, was because he was tired of the bullshit.
Wow. Yeah.
That was the other part I was thinking about, is like, could you imagine working, like, being in a company where it's like what Daddy Stroll wants, Daddy Stroll gets? You know what I mean? Like, even in that Drive to Survive episode where they're like, he's going to be here in 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, he's not the president, bro. Like, I get he has a lot of money. He's, I guess I get it. I just don't surround myself with what Daddy wants, Daddy gets. But
Rich people.
if you have some rich friends you'd like to introduce me to, maybe I would understand a little bit more, but until that day.
Yeah, I don't use rich people for my things, so I don't know what it's like to need a rich person in my life.
Until that day I get introduced to some rich people, I'm just going to sit here in my Mario Kart shirt with my crooked rug.
I think we have the same fan in our background.
Absolutely. It's a good fan. It's quiet.
It's a good fan. A solid fan. Well, mine has been on because I don't know if anyone's seen, but I'm fucking sweating. It's humid as hell in New York, so at least
just deal with my oven.
That is how it is.
It's only 99 degrees right now.
But until next time, we will be here, just watching F1.
Hanging out.
So, have a good one.
Peace.